What's up, everybody? This is Big Herc with Fresh Out, and I'm in Sacramento about to go meet up with a friend I haven't seen in over 25 years, and she actually reached out to me on Facebook. Said she had a story to tell.
Police reported ahead.
Her name is Yvette Moran, and she's had her little run-in with the law, and she's been out now for 4 years, and I'm gonna get her story, and see what her story's about. So I hope you guys find it interesting. I don't know what she did time for or where she did time at, but we're gonna get all that information and share with you guys some interesting stuff and hopefully get some positive feedback. So we're on our way now. It's raining, and we're gonna see what's going on with this interview. What's up?
What's going on, man?
How you been?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Is your wife?
Yep. My wife Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Pleasure to meet you.
Hey.
Good seeing you, bro.
Good
Good
seeing
seeing
you,
you.
too.
We've known each other since junior high school.
Long time, yeah.
Elementary, probably.
For 26, 27 years?
Yeah, something
Long
like
time.
that.
So, Yvette, how far back would you say we go back?
Oh, wow. I think back to Larchmont days, right?
Yeah. So that's
I'm 43 now.
yeah, I'm 43.
So we were about 10,
Yeah.
9, 10 years old.
Yeah, that's a long time. So we go back pretty far. She's from Sacramento, likewise North Highlands, which
Yeah.
is where I'm from, and we pretty much grew up together. Yvette, growing up, she was like no nonsense. She didn't take no shit. She used to beat up dudes.
Yeah.
Dudes feared Yvette because she would embarrass them because they didn't want to get beat up by a female. So she was like no joke. She was always about her business and was always real cool. We was always real cool. Never had any issues and nothing like that. But
I was the oldest of 4 girls.
Yes.
So my dad decided that he was going to teach me how to fight, put me in karate, taught me how to use a gun at 12, taught me how to use a knife at about 8. He actually bought me my first gun at 13 for my 13th birthday.
Oh wow.
So we got a little into the bad life, I guess, for a while. I was into gangs. I was a Crip my whole life.
North Highlands was always known for Crips, so we were all, everybody out here. They have Bloods too, but there's a lot of Cripping going on.
We started the Crip movement in North Highlands, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because it was all Bloods.
Yeah.
Remember, all over there off Court.
When did you Because I went to juvenile hall in what was it, 10th grade. When did you really start getting kind of Yvette? When did you start getting in trouble?
I didn't.
You never really got in no trouble. I mean, we were the ones. I was in and out, and then I moved. You didn't get in trouble till later on?
Until later on in life. And honestly, when I caught my prison term, I had only had 2 priors. And those priors were like domestic violence with one of my ex-girlfriends.
Uh-huh.
And another one was an assault on another ex-girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
So what was the charge that you ended up catching which sent you to prison?
Well, I was looking at capital murder. I was in a county jail for 10 months, looking at 25 to life.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and eventually, this long story that goes to it, but my brother-in-law is my co-defendant, and there was 5 witnesses.
Oh, shit.
We didn't use a gun. We didn't use no weapons. It was purely a beatdown.
Yeah.
I guess I should give you a little background on that story.
Okay, yeah. Let us give us some insight.
Because I have, like I said, I'm the oldest of 4 girls. And my littlest sister, I don't know if you remember her, Stephanie, Baby Bear, remember?
Uh-huh.
She was working at a lab over here on North Cape. and so was my other sister, Christina. And one of the guys there, one of their co-workers, was one of those, you know, he was from Fiji, but he was one of those Muslim guys, and you know how they feel about women anyways. Well, he was having an affair with another of their co-workers who was friends with my sisters.
Okay.
And when their affair got exposed, my sister, I didn't find all this out till afterwards.
Okay.
Till after I did my 7 years. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't find out. Mind you, if I would have known, I would have never went to prison.
Yeah.
Because it was needless. But regardless, all I heard was he put his hands on my sister and tried to run her over after work in his car. Now, you got to understand, this is my baby sister.
Yeah.
Like my heart, like my first kid. Like I was 13 when she was born.
Yeah.
So I raised her. You know what I mean? And like you said, me back in the day, I was no nonsense. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't care. I didn't care what life I took. I didn't care where I went. I knew eventually I was going to end up somewhere.
Yeah.
But I knew when I went, it was going to be a big deal. I knew when I went to prison, it was going to be for something major.
Yeah.
And I went to prison for voluntary manslaughter.
Oh, shit.
We bled out. Again, like I said, we were in the county, Sacramento County Jail, fighting 10 months, 25 to life. They wouldn't come down. And then finally, they gave us with a deal. 6 years for me and 12 for him. Now, we had private attorneys. Like our families mortgaged their homes. You know, my mother was a nurse. My father worked in the hospital. You know, so a lot. And then my little sister got caught up in the case too. And she went to jail for 30 days. So what happened is, I told her attorney and I told mine, I'll do the 25 to life, just get her out.
Okay.
Because she had nothing to do with it. Like, literally, she talked us out of it. Her and my mom both were like, just leave it alone, let it go, you know, we'll take care of it a different way. Well, that wasn't how I got down. And her boyfriend, well, her husband now, is Tongan, 6'3", 19 years old at the time, 200 and something pounds. So, I found the guy. I found him behind the IHOP on Northgate Boulevard. And I had never seen him before. And when I walked up, I just knew the car. And back then, a gold Camry was very unusual.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, now, you know, it's like base model paint.
Okay.
But back in the day, it wasn't. So I'm calling my brother-in-law because he didn't have a phone. He was using my sister's phone. And she's fighting with him the whole way over. Don't do this, don't do this. You know, we had no intention of killing him.
Yeah.
You know, we just wanted to whoop his ass. I mean, you have sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean? Imagine if some dude tried to put his hands on your little sister.
That'd be a wrap.
It'd be a wrap.
Yeah.
So that's what we wanted to do. So I found him. My brother-in-law finally showed up. I had my daughter with me, as a matter of fact. She was about 10, 11 at the time. And my sister took my daughter and left. I said, just get out of here with the baby. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Well, I didn't know it was going to get that bad, but it did. And, you know, I went up to the car and I pretended I thought he was my boyfriend. I was like, hey, what are you doing with the girl in the car? You know, knocked on the window. I expected him to roll down the window. He opened the entire door. He left himself wide open.
Oh.
So I took that advantage. And I came in, I just hit him like this, grabbed him, pulled him out. My brother-in-law came in. Swear to you, dude, it wasn't even 2 minutes. It wasn't even 2 minutes. My brother-in-law stomped him out. He had 8 fractures to the skull, 3 to the sternum. By the time I went to the other side of the car and came back, it was over.
Damn.
Literally over. And there wasn't hardly any blood. The only blood was trickling from his ear like this on the pavement.
Wow.
So that's why they were trying to get him for capital murder, because we premeditated it.
Most of your time at?
I did all of my time at Valley State Prison for Women.
Okay.
That prison is now closed. I went in 2007, and I did 10 months in the county, like I said, and I did 6 years at Valley State Prison.
Okay.
I got out in 2012, and they were going into a transitional phase. That prison is no longer open.
Oh.
I was the last of the class at VSPW.
Wow.
Now they turned that prison into a sex offenders prison.
Okay.
And I was locked up with 4,000 of California's worst women.
Wow.
Like, I can't even begin to explain to you the caliber of abuse and violence and just criminology that was in that place. I mean, and it's different than men's prisons. Child offenders aren't classified as protective custody. You live with them. The dorms are 8 women to a cell. 8 women to a cell. Imagine that.
Wow.
And the cell is probably about as big as, maybe from my window back there to about the water right here. We've got 2 bunks here, 2 bunks here, 2 bunks here, 2 bunks here, and then right here.
Okay.
So it's 8 women. You're dealing with emotions. You're dealing with PMSing at all times of the day.
Thank you.
You know, you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Did you put juice on the chicken?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I go to prison, so now I care about my kids. You know, CPS came and took my kids. But while you were running the streets, you weren't thinking about them kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not excluding myself because I was in the life. You know, I mean, I got into dope, got into drugs for 13 years of my life. I was slanging, I was hustling, I was robbing drug dealers, I was robbing Pisces, I was doing the most.
Yeah.
You know, so I knew eventually I was going to go to prison.
Yeah.
But I never, not one time in all those years did I catch a dope case. Not one time, not even for marijuana.
Yeah.
Not one time. And when I said I was going to go for something big, I did. But anyways, then you've got baby cases. You've got baby cases.
That chair was breaking.
It's already
anyway.
broken. It was already broken. We have baby cases who run for WAC, the Women's Advisory Council. We got women who live right next to you with mental disabilities that like would cut people in the middle of the night.
What?
With cans, you know, when you canned, you know, they turn those cans into razors.
Yeah, yeah.
Fold out half an inch, boom, you'd wake up to blood everywhere. You have girlfriends and girlfriends, but they call each other boyfriends, you know, in prison. And they would boil water or citricide because they give us citricide to clean with. And they boil it, and then when the woman's sleeping, they'll throw it all over her. You'd wake up to screams in the middle of the night. I snore at night because I have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
I'd wake up sometimes in different rooms fighting out of a dead sleep because you're snoring. Literally, because you're snoring.
Yeah.
It was nothing nice. And I did 7 years, I did 6 years in that place. I lost my dad a few times. Either you go in there and you fight.
Yeah.
I wanted to come home.
Yeah.
And like you said, I was never a punk, but in there, I played that role.
Yeah.
I played the punk role because I wanted to come home. I fought when I had to fight.
Yeah.
Only when I had to fight. Before you looked at me wrong, we were fighting. We were getting down.
Was there any really rehabilitation in there, or was it pretty much you had to do your own program to try to better yourself, or?
Oh, there was a lot of opportunities. We had, but not for people with my offense. There wasn't like a rehabilitation for us. They made us take like anger management, and you know, which was ridiculous. It was just a stupid class there. And I'll admit it. Part of the stipulation of my parole was to take an anger management class outside of here, and I did the same thing. It was just I paid for the class, and it was people just complaining about their case or their baby daddies or bills, or you don't learn anything from it. Now, if you're a drug offender, you get SAP, which is a substance abuse program. If you complete the program, you get out like 3-4 months earlier. There's a special yard for them, a special everything for them. You get training. I had HVAC training. I graduated. I got my ECA license there, EPA license. I also took auto mechanics. They had lawnmowers. They had all that. They had all that going on. And but not really a lot for us violent offenders.
Yeah.
Like, I came in as a level 4.
Okay.
And the lowest I could ever get, even though I ran a solidly strict, good program, was level 2. I could never get down to level 1 because of my offense.
Yeah.
And because of my domestic violence issues on there, I was disqualified from family visits.
What? So you couldn't get family visits?
I got family visits on the weekend, but I mean overnight
Yeah.
family visits, I couldn't get that.
Oh.
I did 6 years. Again, my daughter was 11 years old. She turned 12 when I was in the county. When I went in, she was 11 years old. When she turned 18, September 20th, 2012, I came home September 22nd, 2012.
Wow.
I missed her birthday. I missed all of her growing up. I missed teaching her how to be a lady. I missed teaching her how to put makeup on, her first homecoming, her first prom. I missed all of that. All of that. When I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had private attorneys, and my attorney was like, I can get you off in a year. I can have you home in a year.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, sounds good to me. You know? And I said, what happens to him? Again, he was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And there was 5 witnesses that saw him put this beat down on. Nobody saw me physically do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I asked, what happens to him, though? What happens to him if I don't take this deal? And he said, well, they've got enough evidence to convict him of 15 to life. He had a background. He was a known gang offender. He was in and out of juvenile hall his whole life. So they figured, oh well, it's a wash.
Yeah.
You know the school we come from, the code we live by.
Exactly.
I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go home in a year and know that I had the opportunity to give this young man a life. He'll be 28 when he comes out next year. 28. That's still long enough. That's still, you can have kids.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a life.
Mm-hmm.
You can change your ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I couldn't physically go in there and come home in a year and know that I couldn't give him that, you know? And I'm not a snitch to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm not. And I had to live by that.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll take the deal. My attorney got so mad, he picked up the paper, he picked up his briefcase, threw it at the window. It's like, you mean to tell me you're gonna take 6 years for a piece of shit? Literally, that's what he said to me.
Wow.
And then I got a different attorney for the sentencing. And when my original attorney saw me during the sentencing, he cried. He cried and said, I didn't want this for you. I didn't want this for you, but I respect you.
Yeah.
That's why I did 6 years.
Father.
You know, when you're doing that amount of time, you don't count days. You don't count months. At least I didn't. It was easier for me to go day by day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just, I couldn't even tell you what my release date was until it actually came. Like a week before my release date, they told me what day I was getting out. And that was fine with me. Because in there, you hard time it or you just do your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And hard timing it is, oh my God, I've got this amount of days. I've got 461 days left. That just wasn't okay for me. So I just did day by day, each day. So, you know, your family says, now I had a very supportive family, don't get me wrong. I didn't want for anything in prison. I shopped every month, the full minimum, the full amount. I got 3 boxes a quarter. I shopped every sale. I had 3 TVs. I had 3 CD players. I had everything I could possibly imagine. I had every magazine you could think of. I even had the newspaper from Sacramento. I had everything. So when I was getting out, my family was like, yeah, it's going to be all about you. It's going to be all about you. And we're going to get you this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this. So I had no qualms about not having that when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you come home, it's a totally different story. It's easier said than done. And basically, it was pretty much, I had no job. Who's going to give a convicted felon of a voluntary manslaughter a job? Before I went to prison, I was in the medical field. I had my CNA, phlebotomist license, ECA license, and I couldn't do any of that anymore. I couldn't even, I used to coach softball. I coached ASA softball, and I went back and coached for Highland, as a matter of fact. I coached their JV team before I went to prison. How was I going to do that? You know, you've got kids. Do you want a convicted murderer coaching your kids? Do you want a convicted murderer working for you? Nobody was trying to give me opportunities. And I couldn't function. My anxiety was through the roof. When I got out, I went to the mall. I got out in September. I went to the mall right before Christmas, and I broke down in the middle of the mall. Hyperventilated, major anxiety attack. I had to get out of there. So part of my parole was that I see a psychiatrist every month and a counselor every month as well. Well, when the counselor and the psychiatrist interviewed me, they said, "Oh no, you can't work. You can't even be around people." I still, to this day, cannot drive the freeway. When prior to my incarceration, I was everywhere. I drove at night till the wheels fell off, literally. Literally. And now I have a brand new 2016 car, and I can't drive the freeway. I can't go out of town. I can't drive over a bridge. When I go to the mall, I have to limit myself. I'm on disability now. It took me a year and a half to get my disability, even though my doctor gave me a note saying I couldn't work. They denied me 3 times. And then, when I finally got it, I was living with my sister, and I'm giving her half my check, and it still wasn't enough. I got installments of back pay, and with my first one, I bought a car. With my second one, I took everybody, bought them new shoes, all my nieces and nephews. I bought my own daughter clothes and shoes. We got our own apartment. It took a long time, though, and it took hard work, and it took me realizing what my daughter was lacking and to never want her to suffer again to get my life together. Like I said, I wasn't always a I was a gangbanger, but I was also a smart gangbanger. You know, I had all honors classes. I had AP classes. I was commencement speaker. I was national who's who of high school students 4 years in a row. I was speech and debate champion. I went varsity speech and debate, varsity softball, varsity volleyball. So I wasn't a knucklehead. I had all the avenues, but none of that mattered after I got out of prison. None of that mattered. Nobody wanted to hear that. All they saw was my crime, and they saw my disability. And yeah, that's a hard word to say, is a disability. Because with a mind like mine, I should be able to accomplish and achieve anything that I aspire. And I can't. Because I have the PTSD, the anxiety, the chronic nightmares. It hasn't been an easy road, but my apartment is a blessing. My rent is paid every month. I've never been late in 3 years. Again, I'm driving a 2016 Nissan. Just got it. My car blew a head gasket. A week later, I went and got a new car. All of my bills are paid. We have food on the table. We have lights. We have gas. We have everything we could possibly want. By the grace of God and my hard work. And as long as I'm able to, I'm going to continue to provide for my daughter. I'm going to continue to do that so that she never has to suffer the way she did when I went to prison. Because she's the one that suffered the most. Her and my mother.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Lorena, and I'm Yvette Moran's daughter. I'm 22 years old. And when she went to prison, it devastated me. My mom is my best friend. That is all I have. I'm not very close with my father or my mom's side of the family, but I had no choice when she left. I got treated like crap. I felt like I wasn't loved and I wasn't wanted. When I moved with my father, it was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I stayed with my mother's mother for a while, and then my dad ended up coming to find me, and he found me with the cops, and he drugged me out of my grandmother's house by my legs, him and the cops. I told the police I didn't want to go live with him, and they said you have no choice. I went to court. I told the mediator I didn't want to live with him, and the lady, this is quote by quote, the lady told me that I have no choice. I am a baby, and that whether I like my father or I don't like my father, I have to go live with him. From the age of 12 till 18, I got beat from my father. I got choked out. I got thrown across the room. I had fat lips. My dad used to talk mess about my mom all the time. My stepmom's horrible. My mom wrote my dad a letter one time and wanted to thank him and my stepmom for taking care of me. And I'll never, ever, ever in my life forget what she ever said. She laughed at it, laughed at me, and said, this is a piece of shit and worthless. And she ripped it in front of me and burnt it in front of me and looked at my dad, and they both looked at me and laughed. And my dad said, I don't know what she's thanking me for. She didn't do anything. I did it all. So that really hurt me because that is my, like I said, that's my best friend, it's my one and only, and he just blatantly just ruined my life. He just took my mom's side of the family away from me. There's times where he grounded me and I couldn't see them, I couldn't talk to them, I couldn't speak to them at all. When I moved to my dad, I didn't have no clothes. He didn't buy me no new shoes, no underwear, no new bras, nothing. He gave me everything hand-me-down from my older sister. I went to school with her. I got made fun of because my mom was in prison. I got made fun of because of my sister, and she made fun of me. We fist fought all the time. She talked mess about my mom. I mean, it's been a hard life for me. I was 12 years old and I lost my virginity, and it's not what I wanted. It was more of a peer pressure, but I was going through so much. I didn't know how to act or how to react. Every Mother's Day, they would want me to play nice with my stepmom and get up and make her breakfast, sign cards for her, but I couldn't. I had no respect for that lady, and that wasn't my mom. And I would cry and be sad because I didn't have my mom. And I'd get smacked because I was crying because I missed my mom, because I ruined the moment for everybody. There's times where she told me for me not to eat because I eat up all the food. She told my dad that she didn't want me there no more, that I was a piece of shit, that I wasn't going to amount to nothing. My mom's families told me that. So without my mom, I was nothing. My mom came home and I pursued all my dreams. I graduated college. I graduated high school. I have a job. I'm the young lady I am now because of her. I love her with all my heart and I do anything for her. It really hurt me when she left because that's all I knew. I slept with her until I was like 11 years old. I took showers with her until I was 11 years old. She got me dressed. She made me breakfast. I mean, that's all I knew. And then it was just gone. I didn't know how to react to it. It was just really hard, and it's hard for me to stay strong. But it was all I could do. There's nothing I could do. And I know it hurt her to talk to me on the phone because I would cry, and I tried not to cry, but it was really hard. There was this time where she called and asked how my day was doing, and she heard my dad on the other end yelling, and she heard him beat me. And she got mad, and she told my grandmother to call the police and CPS, and they did. CPS and the police came, and they straight looked me in my eye and told my dad, "You're golden. You can go ahead and hit your kid if you want, as long as there's no marks." And he said there's a few welts on her butt, but I didn't see none of that. It's fine. I hit my kids all the time. So even the officers allowed my dad to do what he did to me. My stepmom would be in the other room while my dad was in the room choking me. My sister was in the other room while he was in the other room choking me. My little stepsister would try to come in the room, and she would get in trouble for trying to come in the room and help. It's just a lot. I mean, I endured a lot when she went to prison, and it's just something that I wouldn't recommend any moms to do. I mean, I understand why my mom did it, and I would have did it if me and my sister were close. I would do it for my mom. But I mean, look what I had to go through because she left.
You know, relationships get strained when you're in prison, and they get strained when you come home because people don't know how to act. You know, they tiptoe around you, and I remember adjusting was so hard, and my entire family was wonderful about it. I came home to my sister's house, had my own room. They bought me a bed, a dresser, TV, everything. And it was hard to adjust. You know, when you do 7 years, 10 years of your life almost, you come home, and before I went to prison, we was flip phones. Now we've got smartphones. Yeah. You know, I didn't know how to do anything. I barely know how to do Bluetooth or anything like that. So everybody was tiptoeing around me, and I remember my niece one day saying, "God, I'm so tired of tiptoeing around her. I'm so tired of having to watch everything we say and do around her." And that really hurt. That really hurt because it wasn't my fault. It's not my fault now. But now that I've gotten my life together, I think, the family doesn't know how to act. They don't know how to respond. But I do everything I can for my family. My relationship with my mother is 100 times better than it ever was. My relationship with my father is pretty good too. We just have our differences. And I don't speak to two of my other sisters, which that hurts because we grew up together, and one of them wasn't there for me at all while I was in prison. At all. I didn't even know what my nieces and nephews looked like until I got home. When I came home, they were all there, and there was a little girl there, and she came up to me, ran, hugged me, kissed me, and I said, "Oh my God, who's this little girl?" And I called her the little girl for like a month because I didn't know who she was. Now it's a strained relationship, but the love isn't gone anywhere. I love those kids, and I know they love me. They just have different lifestyles. The relationship between me and my daughter is unwavering. It's like me and her against the world. Literally. And it's my only child, and she missed her mom, and when I got home, she got everything that she was lacking for all of those years. And I'm very blessed. I'm very proud of my daughter. When I got home, my daughter couldn't count money. She couldn't count change. Literally could not count. And she was a senior in high school. She would say, "Mom, how much is this?" So I said, I don't know what education or what my family did or didn't do, but an injustice was served to my daughter, and I refuse to let her be a victim in this world. And now she's a lead cashier at a grocery store. She's a cosmetologist. They said that the entire time I was locked up, everybody told my daughter she would be pregnant by 16. She would never graduate high school. She would end up just like me. And now look. Again, she's a lead cashier. She works 3 jobs. She's a licensed cosmetologist in 10 months after she graduated high school. She graduated high school with a 2.85 with a learning disability. I couldn't be more proud of my daughter and the woman that she has become. There's nothing more that I can say, but that I love her with everything that I've got, and it's because of her that my life has changed 1,000-fold. Now, my advice to anybody who's been in the system is that you don't have to be in the system your whole life. I did 3 years of parole, not one violation, not one ticket, not one go back, not one anything, because I wanted to. I didn't ever want to go back to that place, and I never wanted to be away from my mom and my daughter again. You can do it. You can do it. Only you can do it. There are programs out there. There are people that offer a good support system, but in retrospect, you're going to only find the strength within yourself. If you've got the desire to change your life, you can change your life. It took everything I had to get everything that I've accomplished today, but you can do it. You can do it. You just have to want to do it, and you have to search for those avenues that are going to afford you the opportunities to make your life better. It's not going to be handed to you. Nothing in life is. But if you want it bad enough, if you want your kids bad enough, if you want it for your kids, you can do it. Reach out to your parole officers. Reach out to the programs, transitional homes. Reach out to employers that actually hire convicted felons. Get those records expunged. You can do these things. Only you can do it, though. But it is possible. I'm Yvette Moran, and this is Fresh Out, Life After the Penitentiary.